My name is Ana Garcia. I work for LegalZoom. I'm the Vice President of Data and Platform Engineering. LegalZoom is an online legal services provider. We have been around for 20 years. Our mission is to guard people's lives and legacies, and we do that by helping them navigate the legal system. So LegalZoom has the challenges of the companies that have been around the internet for a long time. We have been around for 20 years, so solutions like Chargebee just didn't exist, and we build our own. As we grow and as we tackle a very complex and interest opportunity of legal services, we want to focus our engineering resources on our core. And our core is not billing and payment and recurring billing engines. And Chargebee provides a solution, a very good solution, that allows us to have a robust billing system without having to incur all the cost of building that ourselves and keeping up with all the industry standards. So it's really a no-brainer for us because it's an opportunity to rely on a partner and then focus engineering on our core. Yeah, that's a very interesting question. On one hand, we debated a lot going for the heart of the beast and the core products, the products that bring most revenue, simply because they also bring the most problems and they suck most of the resources because of, well, the size they have. But on the other hand, we really wanted to be careful and be cognizant of potential risks and set up both us and Chargebee for success. So what we decided to do is start with things that were not extremely complicated. So those were products that could be sold as a transaction one time and they did not have any sort of electronic fulfillment associated with that. So this is how we started. And once we felt confident with that, we decided to tackle on the bigger ones, and we are in this journey. But this has both helped us gain confidence in the product, help the company feel good about Chargebee. We are seeing the results. We also have comparison points, what is happening to whatever is on Chargebee, what is happening to what is not on Chargebee, which is also helpful to continue the partnership. I feel very well taken care of. I feel like we're VIP customers. I feel Chargebee really listens to what we're trying to do. What you guys have out of the box is not enough. And it's never this attitude of like, well, you are using the feature wrong, but it's more like maybe we're missing a feature. What if we do that? And it's really a very tight collaboration, not only with us, but also with Adyen. In fact, when we were in the thick of our implementation, we actually had Chargebee on site with us, with our engineers and coding this and building together. So it was very, very inspiring to see. That's a very interesting question. One of the big complexities of LegalZoom is actually the data, because we have a lot of very diverse SKUs. It's not simply a SKU with a name, it is a SKU with a name and with a lot of more associated data, depending on the type of form, depending on the type of filing. So data is very important to us. I think what the Chargebee product catalog allows us to do is create this very consistent layer between the SKU, a definition of a SKU, and what are attributes that all SKUs have, and we can customize on our end what is additional to that and layer that very well in the Chargebee product catalog. So I would say the integration is pretty seamless. It has given us flexibility while also easing the burden of just doing everything ourselves. Yeah, we have seen right away a substantial increase in payment approval rates and just using the Chargebee ecosystem. And we are going to see the reharvesting and renewal metrics soon as we go through the cycles of the subscriptions. But right off the bat, in the first batch of renewals, we already saw improvement in payment approval rates just by using the ecosystem of Chargebee and Adyen as our gateway. I would say one very nice thing about Chargebee is that it's flexible and I can keep those integrations as I see fit. So I didn't feel that I would have to commit to a particular one or commit to a specific way of routing. I felt that the tech stack that Chargebee has allows me to make these decisions as I learn and go. So it has been so far pretty interesting and flexible. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we started with our with our smaller subscriptions, and we have 1.8 million subscribers to go. So I'm excited to onboard those, and especially the higher value subscriptions, the higher price points, where we can really see that percentage improvement really means a long way for the bottom line. So I'm very excited to do those this year now that we feel confident that the solution works. Yeah, absolutely. I would say the interesting thing about the legal space or any technical space is that the value for the customer is not always anchored, clear, or straightforward. Most people can price what is a reasonable price for a can of milk. Most people have no idea how much it costs to have a registered agent service, or to file an annual report, or to form a business. People have no idea what is reasonable, what is not. So as we think about monetization, testing, and experimenting with different strategies, with different bundles, with different willingness to pay, that is a given. It's a constant, because most of the times people don't have an anchor for these products. LegalZoom is a pioneer in this industry, online legal services. So in many ways, we are creating the price points. We're creating the value of reference there for people who are filing a certain form for the first time in their lives. So it's really about trying and trying to find that magic price point. Yeah, I think we can use traditional software techniques to think about this cost. There is a different pricing model for closed models that is based on tokens. So that's based on how complicated your question is, how complicated your output is, and you can think about the infrastructure where you're going to serve this model as more like a traditional software development cost. But I do think there are other costs beyond just infrastructure and tokens, and that's the cost of maintaining knowledge bases, the cost of evaluating these models. I think the way that I like to think about this is using the right model for the job, and thinking that a lot of these AI applications, in the case of LegalZoom, they are actually incremental or so disruptive that even if they are very costly from a compute standpoint, they're probably cheaper than whatever we're doing today, which is either not doing or doing in a very expensive way. So I don't like to think about Gen AI from a cost perspective. I would like to think from an opportunity perspective, because this is actually building things that we didn't used to have in the past. And yes, there's a cost associated to it, and we'll have to reckon with it. But there is top line associated to it that we didn't have before. How do you reinforce the value? Yeah, when you're selling a service, which is basically, what is a registered agent is a classic example. What is the value of that? Is it an insurance? What happens if I don't have one? Well, it can be fine. You can be put in bad standing and you have to shut down your business. But what's the risk of that happening? And then, so there's a lot of how do you tell that story in a way that is honest, that is understandable.